Hey guys, Poppy, Hector Castillo from girlschase.com. Today I want to talk about how to pick up waitresses and bartenders. Some of the hottest girls you're going to meet are working as waitresses and bartenders, and that's probably why they were hired in the first place, because they're fucking hot, which is going to get the attention of guys and get guys spending a lot of money to impress them, and they're going to get drunk and they're going to want to give them money, and it's going to end up making her a lot of money and also the business a lot of money. But ideally, we want to fuck them and not just be the next trick who gets tricked into spending a lot of money that ends up with no pussy and not even a kiss, because that's lame as fuck. So you have to work around the system that's built to get money from you without giving anything in return, and not be a trick, but instead be a pimp who gets those hoes. So picking up a bartender, first lesson is that you need to realize that her job is to flirt with you and make her think, or make you think, that you have a chance with her, or that she has a crush on you. Now, you're gonna have to learn what is the difference between a genuine sign of interest and fake interest that's built just to get your attention. If you need help with learning what girls give off, what signals they give off when they like you, we actually have a free 7-day mini course that you can sign up for right here. And it'll also teach you how to approach a girl anywhere and how to get real confidence with girls. So sign up right there and you'll get a free course to your email, and it's free, 7 days. It's great. And it's kind of a lead in into the basics of the Girls Chase philosophy when it comes to picking up girls. Now, one tip that is going to actually help you screen out normal flirting from fake flirting is to have it in your mind that it's her job to flirt with you. So you're gonna have this mental block. When she smiles at you, gives you a free shot, maybe gives you a compliment, you're gonna think, okay, she's just doing that because it's her job. And then any flirting beyond that, maybe you can start to say, okay, maybe there's something there. But then again, you do have to have some understanding of what is a genuine flirting and what's not. And experience is gonna give you that. So once you have that mental block, which is helping you screen out bad flirting, then you're going to roll into the next tip, which is to remember that it is her power that is in control in this situation. She has the power because she is the waitress. You're the customer. Yes, they're there to serve you, but she has the protectedness of the staff and the job. So you're just there as a patron paying money for a service, but she has the power, meaning you are stuck in your box, right? If you're at a restaurant, your table is kind of your space. You're not going to walk over and stand by someone else's table. This is the subtly social thing that we never really think about, but it's actually there. You're kind of confined to that table, or maybe the bar at the restaurant. So you only have a little bit of freedom, right? You either go to the bathroom, you're at your table, or you go to the bar. Those are your lines of movement. Her, she's like the queen in a chessboard. She can roll around. She has the control. She has the power. When someone dominates that space and has the power, you have to submit a little bit. Not mentally, but in terms of actual action, you need to understand that you don't have any control here. So when you're sitting there waiting, let her come to you. If you're at the bar getting a drink, don't go out of your way to go talk to her. Don't be aggressive, because that's gonna not only worry her, because there's probably a lot of aggressive guys that she deals with on a daily basis, but it's also gonna look bad to the other staff, and it's gonna fuck up with her reputation, which is the third tip that you need to remember. Because her staff is all trying to fuck her, 100%, 1000% chance. They all want to fuck her. Trust me, I've worked in the club industry and the bar industry and restaurants. They all want to fuck her. And so you don't want to trip up their defensiveness, because remember, those guys have even more power. Like the manager, he can kind of impose on you with his presence. He can pull her away. If he gives one disapproving look about you, she's done with you. You're fucked. And she's not going to take her number, because she knows that if she goes after you, or allows herself to get picked up by you, it's gonna look terrible, and everyone's gonna either slut shame her, and the other girls are gonna see that she made a really stupid move, and they're gonna take advantage of that and move higher up into the social order. So you don't want to trip up her reputation by being too aggressive, too flirty. And so oppositely, you want to let her do most of the aggressing. So this is a bit of a flip in the sexual dynamics of the male-female pursuit game that we play. You're gonna need her to be the aggressive one, but this is going to doubly work in effect, because there's so many guys flirting with her and being aggressive, that if you're able to control
when you try your best but you don't succeed,
control your sexuality. God damn it, keep your dick in your pants. If you're able to control your sexuality and not be a hungry, horny bastard, then she's going to be impressed by that, because most guys, especially if she's wearing a skimpy outfit and she's really, really gorgeous, she's used to most guys just turning into like fucking little dogs for her. But if you're able to just be cool and calm and let her keep coming to you, she's going to be like, okay, this guy's kind of different. Like there's something different about him. He's not tripping up over my beauty. He's calm. And so all of those tips being aware of, she's in control, you need to keep her reputation in mind, and most guys are flirting with her and you need to do the opposite. That's going to make you a unique customer and it's going to pique her interest, and she's going to, as she invests more and spends more time talking to you, like if you're just alone at the end of the bar and you're being really calm and all the other guys like, hey, what's up, honey, can I have another shot? They're trying to either flirt with her overtly or impress her with their money or maybe brag to her in some other way. While they're doing that, you're just calm. You're attractive, right? You got your fundamentals together. You've got some decent charisma, but you're not trying too hard. She's going to keep coming back. And that's what I've noticed when I have successfully got a girl's number or actually slept with a bartender. And so the final step, once you have her attraction, when she's coming back to you and is realizing that you're not just another thirsty ass customer, is that when it's time to ask her out, you can get her to do the final ask out. And there is one story I'll tell you, probably one of the most amazing pickups I've ever seen in my fucking life. But for the most part, you are going to have to make that final move. But because you've been so calm the whole time, you can make that one aggressive move and it'll be congruent and it'll make sense and it'll be smooth. But even when you do make that move and ask her out, it needs to be chill. So you're calm, you're letting the other guys try too hard. She keeps coming back to you, keeps talking to you, maybe gives you some free shit. If she gives you one free thing, it's usually not that big of a sign, but when a waitress or bartender keeps giving you free stuff, that's a sign that she actually does like you. So all that being done correctly, she comes over, you're talking, and you're like, okay, now I need to ask you out. She's like, hey, either what time do you get off? That's one way you can do it if you want to fuck her that night. And if you plan on being there later that night, or if you're going to leave, but you're going to be up late, if she's working at a club, let's say she's like, I get off at 2 a.m., you could work something out of that. Or you just say, hey, I would love to get together with you sometime. We can get a coffee or something. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, cool. What's your number? Let me grab it really quick. And be really discreet about it, because remember, you have to remember her reputation. And you don't want anyone to you don't want her to be seen getting picked up. Because the role is that she doesn't get picked up. Everyone thinks they have a chance, but no one actually has a chance. The only guys who fuck her are her coworkers. So be really super discreet about it and very casual about it, because you don't want to ruin that great game that you're running beforehand. Okay, so now I'll share with you a few stories that kind of demonstrate these and will give you some real concrete evidence that it actually works and can get you those bartenders and waitresses. So the first one is pretty quick. I was coming back from the jungles of Peru, actually, and I was going back to my hometown before I went to college, and I went to go get some dinner with my mom. And again, I was in the jungle. Like, my hair was a fucking mess. I hadn't taken a proper shower in a few weeks, and I was just in a very bestial mentality, and it was different for me to be around civilization because I'd been bathing in rivers and chopping trees down and being around animals pretty much all day. So I had this, really cool, like, bestial aura about me, which made the waitress super interested in me. And once we sat down, I could tell that she liked me. And I didn't make any overt moves. I let her do most of the flirting. I didn't give her too much eye contact because, again, I knew the game. I'd been working at bars before. And I was chilling with my mom too. I mean, my mom knows at this point that I was working for Girls Chase. And so she knows that I like to go pick up girls, but I still don't want to be like so overt flirting with a girl in front of my mom. So at the end of dinner, what actually happened was we paid the bill and I was like, hey mom, I'm going to ask her out. She's like, okay, I'll go outside and wait. And I wrote she had a pen. And so I put my number on a napkin. And I folded it up and I walked over to the waitress and I was like, hey, excuse me, honey. She's like, oh, hi, and she was really excited to talk to me. And I said, well, I didn't want to ask you out in front of my mom because, that would have been weird, but I wanted to give you my number and you should text me and we can hang out before I leave. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, definitely. Grabbed it. And then she ended up texting me later that day. And she wanted to hang out, but I ended up deciding to leave earlier than expected. And so we never got to meet up, but she was very, very interested and it was texting me a lot. So that's one way that you can actually do the casual ask at the end. And then I was being chill during the actual time when I was having dinner. Okay, second time is when I actually took a bartender's virginity. I took her virginity. I took her virginity.
Yeah, boy.
And I was in a European country because she actually knows my Instagram, so I don't want to put too much information out there. I was at the bar, was chilling, having a few beers, watching, I think it was a football match. And what I did was, again, I knew the industry. I knew to just chill and not be the thirsty ass customer, just cute blonde. And she would come talk to me for a few extra seconds than she should have, just intuitively, I could feel that. So I knew she liked me. So I would strike up normal conversation like, oh, so how long you been bartending? Do you enjoy it? Are you in school? What are you doing? Casual conversation. And then she would ask me questions back. So a conversation was built, but I wasn't pushing it. I didn't call her out when she was walking past. I let her come over and just kind of stand by me and, mess with her drinks. And I'm like, okay, she wants to talk to me again. So I would strike up conversation more and more. And so about the fourth time that she came over on her own to stand by there and talk to me, I decided to ask her out. And I just said casually in the middle of conversation, hey, we should actually grab a coffee sometime when you're not working. And she's like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. And then we ended up going on a date. And then we had a second date at my place where we had dinner. And then I took her virginity and actually got blood all over my friend's bed. But it was a lot of fun and she was sexy. So you know who you are. I'll probably send this to you because you'll think it's funny. I miss you. I hope you're doing great. So the third story is probably one of the greatest pickups I've ever seen in my entire life. And I will actually pick up the script in order to tell it to you perfectly. Basically, I was out with probably the number one guy when it comes to pickup that I've ever seen just naturally. I don't want to give too many details again because people watching this actually know who he is. And I don't want to do anything that would blow his cover. So we're basically at a bar. We're sitting there. He's a really good looking guy. So this does help. He's tall and he's good looking, but he's got amazing game. Like I've seen tons of tall, good looking guys that don't pull as much as they should, but this guy also had amazing game and he just had that vibe where he just knew what the fuck he was doing. So we're sitting there and she, the bartender, was flirting with us a little bit. She'd flirt with me, flirt with him, flirt with me, just casual conversation. And what was funny is you're gonna see the upcoming conversation that preceding when she started talking to us, she was actually giving shit to one of the other customers. He was kind of being rude and didn't give her a great tip. And she was like verbally smacking him around. Like, you're really rude. You need to be better next time. You gave me like a shitty tip. Like she was fucking playing him. He was drunk. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm an asshole. And his friend's like, yeah, he's an asshole. He's blah, blah, blah. He's like, here you go. Here, I'm so sorry. Here's money for your troubles. And she was just playing guys like they're fucking her slaves. So coming from that, this interaction totally threw her on her head, her ego on her head, and she got played so well by my friend. So she was flirting with him. And at some point, he had got her number when I went to the bathroom. So, but it wasn't anything like, there was nothing outstanding about the talking that would jump out at me, but this instance shows exactly how you pick up a bartender. So we're sitting there and she just randomly is staring at him and he's on his phone and she says, you're actually really cute. I have this written down from like 5 years ago. And he looks at me, right? So remember, that she's in power. So what happens is you flip the dynamic. Hey, you're really cute. Then he looks at me and he laughs and he's like, is she serious? Stop it. So not only did he divert her compliment, look to me, which kind of blows her off. And then he's like, oh, stop it. And so it's a nice way of saying no, but it creates this amazing dynamic where he's flipping the power because she should be the one who's in power. And then I'm laughing, obviously, because I know exactly what he's about to do. Then she bites onto the bait and says, if you weren't so young, I would definitely flirt with you, which is verbally a lie because she's already flirting with him, but it's a test to see how he can handle it. Because most guys they would be like little suckers, like, oh, she's flirting with me. Oh my God, she called me cute. Oh yeah, you're so cute too. But he's not going to fall for it. So he actually accepts that he's too young and says, oh, I definitely am. And just smiles because he doesn't want to buy into the test by saying, oh no, I'm old enough. He's like, yeah, I am too young. So then she smiles because he passed the test. And then she says, look at your dimples. Because he's really good looking. And she's like, how old are you? And then he says he's 24. Now he was technically 23. But he's like, afterwards, he's like, I felt like that was the right age to say. It was older than 23, which 23 sounds too young, but it's not so older that she can catch me in a lie. And then she says, yeah, you're definitely too young. He stops, he doesn't let it affect. And then she adds on to that, but those dimples. So he keeps pushing back and not being drawn into the seduction. And so she keeps chasing. Then he does the same thing he did in the beginning. He looks at me and he's like, is she for real? Which is, again, flipping the power dynamic. And then he challenges her and says, how old are you? Then she says 31. And then this is the kicker. I could show you a thing or two, he says to her. Now, this is her chance. If she loses this frame battle, because now he's flipping it on her and challenging her, if she loses this, it's done and she's his. and she does lose because she looks at him now and is just staring at him, and she starts to stutter, which never happens because these girls are so socially quick and so fucking mature. They know every little game. But if you could just get someone to like lose their cool for 1 second, you got them. And so she's staring at him and she's almost like cracking a smile because she knows that he's about to win. And then she says, I doubt that. And she actually stutters, and it's great. And I watch it. I'm like, he just got her. She's done. And he actually smiled, and he knew that he fucking had her. And then he did the best thing ever. He smiled and he's like back on his phone, fucking ignoring her. So basically she gave a weak challenge, and he's like, yeah, that was a weak challenge. Try harder. And then it just goes fucking uphill from here. I would say downhill, but it's pretty uphill. She says, yeah, you're way too young. Now she's just repeating her challenges, so it means nothing. And then I help and jump in, and I'm like, yeah, but now you're forbidden fruit. And then we both look at each other and we start laughing because it was a great addition, which took pressure off of him, but still fed into the frame of he's young, but that's really hot for her. And then we're both laughing. There's a calm, tense moment. And then she says, actually, you know, we can have a lot of fun. So she already lost like a few minutes ago, but now she's admitting that she's losing. So she says, yeah, we could actually have a lot of fun. And then he looks at her and says, maybe we could. And winks at her. Fucking beautiful. It was artistic. I didn't actually know, I knew what a wink was, but I didn't know how powerful it was. But in that moment, I was like, I need to work on winking because it's so fucking good. And then he's like, I have your number, right? And she's like, yeah. So there was some preceding flirting before this. And he is really good looking and he's tall. So he has advantages that get him the attraction, but he played it well because having attraction isn't enough to get a girl. You have to take that attraction and actually do something with it. And for a final au revoir of this story, she's like, yeah, you have my number. And he's like, yeah, okay. You know, they have a quick conversation and then he goes back to his phone. He's really good at just giving enough attention to keep her interested, but not too much. He's on his phone, but she's still standing there. And she's staring at him. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because I had good game, but this is some next level shit. And I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at him and I'm looking at her and then I'm looking at him. He's literally on his phone and it doesn't look like he's trying. He literally looks like he doesn't give a fuck. And she's just staring at him. And she's got customers to wait on and she doesn't give a fuck. She's just like staring at him. And then she says out of nowhere, I just want to sit on your face. And that's the reaction that me and him had. He turned to me like this, and I did that like slow turn to him. And we just look at each other like, what the fuck? Did she just say she wants to sit on your face? And then, of course, you know, they met up later and he fucked the shit out of her. So that was the best pickup of a waitress or a bartender that I've ever seen. But waitress and bartenders have the same dynamics. So please remember my tips. I hope that you can sleep with a hot waitress and that you have a good time. Remember that the 7-day course link is also in the description, so you can go sign up there because, again, you got to tell the difference between real signs of interest and fake signs of interest because they're real good at fake fucking flirting because they want that money. Okay, this is Hector Castillo, Poppy from girlschase.com. Please follow my social media, like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and I'll see you soon.